You are watching Issues at Hand on Church of Uganda Family TV, proudly brought to you by Protea Hotel in Tebe. Thank you for watching. As always, we discuss and dissect issues in this country, especially when it comes to finding a solution, because every problem must have a solution. We must be the kind of family here on Church of Uganda Family TV where we are solution bearers. So we have a guest that comes in and talks us through some of these issues and talks us through solutions. Now today we are having a very interesting conversation when it comes to a protection against Ebola, and we are going to have specifically a conversation from a member of KACITA who is going to tell us about enforcement of Ebola prevention measures when it comes to traders and customers and the greater Kampala as well. So you want to keep it locked here on Church of Uganda Family TV. As always, my name is Bruno, Edgard, and my guest for today is Mr. Joshua Mawerere, who is the chairman Youth League, Kampala City Traders Association. You are welcome to Issues at Hand.
Thank you very much, Bruno, and it's a pleasure being here. Good morning, viewers.
Wonderful. And now, I've heard so much about Kampala City Traders Association. Tell us about what KACITA does, the mandate, and I've heard that there's a recent transformation that has happened within KACITA.
That's very true. KACITA is well known as Kampala City Traders Association, which was established back in 2009 when it was registered under the statutes of Uganda. But then in 2001, it re-registered again as KACITA Uganda. Now, registering as KACITA Uganda, it was a transformation that we did on purpose to create an association of business people and traders, and we are able to mobilize them. The aim was to mobilize them, create sensitization, and make sure that the traders can be put into viable groups that can make sense to the business community, lobby for better trading environment, and also be part of the policy making in terms of business and the economics of this country. So KACITA has now expanded, and it has created new associations to make sure that we expand our influence and also make sure that we have collective effort towards trade. So we have introduced Ginger City Traders Association. We have given birth to Gulu City Traders Association. We have given birth to Soroti City Traders Association. We also have Mawerere City Traders Association. So a number of them are coming on board. And recently, we also introduced what we call KACITA Youth League. This one is a focus association for youth in business in Uganda. And basically, it is also to foster the young people to come together, make partnerships, and transform trade by being part of the policy making bit of the country, but also being able to lobby collectively for better trade and business policies in the country. So we have a big number. KACITA is now coming to 2,000 members. And that these are both corporate institutions and also the individual traders in business. And today, KACITA is playing a very vital role in transformation of trade. We're moving the traders from only the usual exchange of goods for money, which we call basic trade. We're moving them from mere importers of commodities to Uganda because we want to support the export strategy that Uganda has come up with. So we are pushing the traders to foster partnerships, and in these partnerships, they bring together more resources, create more capital, and they can move into manufacturing, so they produce locally here and then export. And also secondly, we are pushing the young people to make these partnerships and be able to be big movers of exports from Uganda to other countries. And so our transformation strategy is very important and also very crucial for the traders. It is a very step-by-step process that we're building, of course, with support from other stakeholders. We have a lot of support from Buganda. We have support from KCCA. We have support from the Ministry of Finance. We have support from our partners like Private Sector Foundation. We have the development partners who have come on board. So the transformation is very big for the traders in the whole country. And KACITA is at the forefront of making sure that they become very strategic in terms of doing business. But most importantly now, we have a new checker. After COVID-19, everybody knows the repercussions that we went through as traders. It became more expensive to do business during COVID-19. And now, post-COVID, we're trying to recover. Now there's an Ebola outbreak. And as traders, it became very paramount that as leaders we come up with a strategy on how do we help the traders. One,
but why KACITA? Isn't this something that should be done by the Ministry of Health, especially when it comes to sensitizing traders and people involved in the business industry when it comes to Ebola?
Now, why KACITA? KACITA is an association of traders, and one of our mandates is to be responsible to disseminate information to our traders, but also break this information in various quantities that are understandable by our traders. Of course, trade is a sphere that attracts everybody. Those who have gone to school, those who haven't, we have professors in there, we have real estate agents in there, we have lawyers down there, and they are all our members. So the different categories of traders that we have receive information differently, and also they understand differently. So KACITA has a mandate because it understands this sector very well. So we know how to help the ministry take down the information in understandable bits to our people. But also it's part of our mandate, communication, awareness, and sensitization of our people on some of the policy issues in trade, but also things that affect trade. So as KACITA, we take it as our mandate to be able to communicate.
All right, and so KACITA has come up with a campaign where you're sensitizing traders and people in the trade industry about Ebola and especially prevention measures like SOPs. Take us through what's the campaign about and what's happening in the campaign.
Thanks very much, Bruno. As traders, when you're doing trade is more of a person-to-person relationship. And so trade calls for a lot of convergence. And that is a very ripe ground for spread of Ebola and other contagious diseases. So the traders are at high risk because most of the markets where we do business, they are congested. And we have less information about Ebola and the spread. So we came up with a campaign to create awareness, and we always have monthly CSR activities, corporate social responsibility, but this month and next month have been dedicated to Ebola, to create awareness, sensitization, improve on our contact-less methods of doing business, and also increase vigilance in the city. You remember that at the end of September is when the first case of Ebola was discovered. But as we speak today, we have over 100 cases, and we've registered about 30 deaths to Ebola. So that calls for vigilance. And there are more contacts that are coming up in Kampala, meaning that the central business area is really at risk. And so we needed to come up with a campaign which we called Ebola Sensitization Campaign and Clean Up Campaign. So we're doing two things in one. Our CSR was about cleaning the city, cleaning the places where we work from, and then we have topped it up with a campaign on sensitization on Ebola. Like I said, trade is more a relationship with a client. So it calls for convergence of so many people. Two, it increases contact. And because Ebola spreads through body fluids, things like sweat, things like tears, sharing, when you come in contact with blood of another person, we thought that it's important to sensitize our traders on these aspects. And how have we done it? We had an activity last weekend where we went to Owino Market in Kafumbe Mukasa, all the businesses on Kafumbe Mukasa. And we held a very big campaign. We did a cleaning, so people cleaned where they work from in the market, people from who are doing textile and clothes, people who are doing shoes, people who are doing vegetables. All these women and youth, we interacted with them, and they were able to understand that there is an Ebola outbreak. In the process of cleaning their places of work, they also reset their stalls to make sure that they give space to the customer, and so they keep away from the customer. There's a reasonable distance now from them and the customer, and you see that the vigilance is high now. We were also able to give out posters that have a communication on Ebola. We were also able to contextualize the information in our local languages so our traders can understand. So we broke down the information and also corrected information asymmetry, because there's a lot of information that comes up when a disease comes up. There's a lot of false information. Others are things like, if you get a disease, go to a witch doctor. You get a disease, go to a pastor. So these are some of the things that we were correcting in terms of information and saying, this is a health perspective. It must be a medical doctor who gets your attention. And also we created preventive ways for them. So we shared issues like you can use less contact methods to do business. Keep a distance from your client, but also you can ask them to pay using Momo. You can ask them to pay using Airtel money. So you don't have to transfer cash straight from you to another person. If that's not possible, then get the money, put it in a safe, and have sanitize on the side. So every time you get money, sanitize yourself. So these are most important aspects. We also put washing areas in the markets. But also we advise them that it's important now, since our trade calls for a lot of convergency and a lot of contact with other people, that can we start putting on long-sleeved clothes so that you don't get in touch with somebody who is sweating. Our businesses are in places where arcades and others are underground shops, so there's a lot of heat. We're working under sunshine. Of course, many young people, their businesses, the kiosks have been taken away, so many of them are working directly under the sunshine. So there's a lot of sweat involved in doing business. So we want them to create less contact, but also be very vigilant with information. Yeah.
But on that point, how feasible are these measures now? For example, when you talk about social distancing, you've spoken about arcades, that these arcades are filled with hundreds of people, and is it enough to tell people that you wear long-sleeved clothes, because at the end of the day, these places are jam-packed, and that helps the spread of Ebola. How feasible are these measures? And when we talk about things like sanitizer, over the COVID-19 lockdown, we saw that some of the traders maybe not willing to spend on buying sanitizers, or some of them get sanitizers, then they add water, and at the end it's not as effective as having a sanitizer. And then washing points at busy arcades, the washing points are not enough, or there's not enough soap or water. Is it feasible for these traders when it comes to these measures?
Most of the measures that we're putting across, some of them may call for some investment, but we're saying that life is the biggest investment you can ever have, and it's a once-time opportunity, so we need to protect it. But also we've called on some of our partners to come on board during our campaigns. And we are glad to have Buganda Kingdom, we're glad to have Coca-Cola came on board, Uganda Insurance Association came on board. We have a number of clinics, vaccine and it's vaccine and immuno something. It's a clinic that does that. They came on board. KACITA itself has been our biggest partner. So a number of partners have come on board, and some of them are offering what they can offer. KACITA is trying to make sure that we have some of these things in place. And also it's giving us sort of information on Ebola, the posters. We're also telling the owners of the arcades, for example, that part of the revenue you receive, you need to protect the people who work in there. So put some things in place. And we're glad that they are responding. But the most important thing that we're giving the traders is information. We believe that information is power. We believe that if people take personal initiatives to guard themselves from contracting Ebola, then they are better off. And if they do contract it, they take the initiative to protect others from getting Ebola. And this is what we're pushing, and it's working out well. There's a lot of responsiveness from the traders, because the strain that we have, it's a Sudan strain. The Sudan strain doesn't have a vaccination as yet. There are lots of trials that are on, and we pray that the trials become successful. So the only thing we can give our traders now is to make sure that they can have the right information about how they can avoid, and if they get it, how can they restrain the spread to other people. And that's what we're doing.
Oh, definitely. That's good, and hopefully, I think one of the biggest challenge we have, and we saw it in Kasanda and Muvende, was people being very intentional about following these guidelines and the sensitization you're giving, for example, because something I've been wondering is, how sustainable is the campaign? Is it going to continue? Is it going to be ongoing? Because we have seen many times that because of the initial fear, the first couple of weeks people might follow and do the hand sanitizing, they wear masks, but after some time people get complacent. So is it something you're going to continue sensitizing traders on?
Yes, the campaign that we run it every month, and it's a continuous campaign. And our chairman, Mr. Thaddeus, has been very deliberate on this particular activity of sensitizing about Ebola. And he has taken it to another level, that it's something we do on a daily basis. And KACITA has its offices next to the traders. And so there's an information desk that we're working with. And also, we have a number of leaders in the different sectors. So we have arcade leaders, we have sector leaders. So when you go to, for example, we have direct partners or direct leaders that we discuss with about these issues. So that creates sustainability in the leadership of that place. We have a leader on Kafumbe Mukasa, we have a leader in Chiembe, we have Mutasa Kafero, we have somebody who is handling Majestic Plaza. So all these leaders create a very big cohort that is looking at how do we mitigate the spread of Ebola in the traders. And I think that is very sustainable. Information creates sustainability, and we are very strong on it. And also the partners who have come on board have pledged to work with us the journey until we declare an Ebola-free country.
Oh, wonderful. And then for those of us who might not be traders, what's this information? Can you share that information with us? What should we be aware of when it comes to protecting us and our loved ones from Ebola?
As a trader, one, I want to inform our customers that we are trying to create safe spaces for us to do business, and also respect the spaces we're creating. If you feel that you have uncommon fevers, you feel not well enough, please, we request that you go for a checkup. And also restrain from moving downtown, where the places that are congested to do trade. It is a polite request, but you help protect us if you adhere. We're also calling on the tech companies. Please visit downtown. There's no reason why we don't have every small shop down there have Momo Pay codes, Airtel Money Pay codes. I think traders changed, and we need to make it more electronic so that we avoid people touching a lot of paper and then touching themselves. Paper moves with a lot of fluids because you don't know who is infected, who isn't. So we ask that some of the service providers there come down and give us these contactless methods of doing business. But also we want to request that be vigilant in washing your hands. Be vigilant in trying to make sure that even if when you are sweating, it doesn't go to anybody else. If you have fluids that are coming off your body, try to make sure that you don't get in touch skin to skin with another person. This vigilance will help us control the Ebola virus. But also to the traders, we want to request that keep your spaces from the customers. Two, when you're going to do trade, we go and buy merchandise and then bring it and sell. Make sure that you create safe spaces for yourself as you do trade. Make sure that you keep a level of hygiene that protects you as a trader. But also we're saying that if you can avoid the congestion, please do. And we're encouraging many of the leaders in the different aspects of KACITA to make sure that they rearrange business in some of these places so that we create safe spaces. And also, we have requested that traders, if you feel you're not fine, then don't come to trade. It is a day or two of you ascertaining whether you are free from Ebola or you are really infected. So you save the rest of us from getting and contracting the disease. And the last one that we're pushing is that this is a medical condition. Don't go to a pastor, don't go to a witch doctor, don't go to a relative, don't go to a singer for a talk. It's not about cultural issues. It's a medical condition, and we don't have a virus as yet. We don't have a vaccine as yet. There are many trials that are going into place. So the best we can do is sensitize each other and guard each other as we do business.
Oh, fantastic. Now, if there's a word that traders fear right now, it's the word lockdown. And we've had the Ministry of Health saying that if Kampala does not behave in terms of following the guidelines and the SOPs, there will be a lockdown. What is your say on that?
This is, like you said, it is something that we are fearing most. And the reason why, when you talk about sustainability of our campaign, it will be sustainable because we have a lot of fear for the lockdown. Many of our traders lost billions of money in transporting goods from other countries to Uganda. We had border lockdowns, so you couldn't bring commodities to the country, and that meant also expenses. You would have a container on a trailer from Mombasa to cross from Mombasa to Kampala, and that takes 3 weeks of clearance. So that meant that we pay high cost to do trade. And many of the goods that were perishable, others got spoiled, so they could not reach the country. So we made a lot of losses. We were also affected financially because many of us run commercial loans. And if there's a lockdown, there's a tremendous reduction in trade. And also the psychological stay up of the traders becomes very slippery. So we want to avoid the lockdown. We've heard about these intentions, but we are saying that it is better we give a lot of information, mitigate the spread. If we inform the people on how Ebola spreads and how they can avoid the spread, we'll be able to have everybody aware and take a personal initiative to control the spread. So the lockdown has more devastating effects to business and trade, and it's something that we are heavily working against, not in bad faith, but by making sure that people understand that Ebola can be controlled even when you have people doing trade. It is about sensitization. It's about having a collective move towards responsibility as individuals.
And when it comes to this responsibility, we have to ask ourselves, how ready are we for this responsibility in terms of following the SOPs? And something that you've brought up recently is the issue of congestion.
Yes.
How can that be best managed? Because, like I said, it's really hard to stop those hundreds of people walking in and out of arcades. And if there are 100 people also, you might find that 20 of them are the people who are following the SOPs. How, as KACITA, are you encouraging or giving solutions to owners of arcades and traders to ensure that there is crowd management?
As I speak today, we have a meeting with the Kampala City Council Authority. And the discussion is how do we manage the crowds and have safe trade as well. And a part of the discussion is management of crowds. How do we put instruments in place to make sure that the flow of people in the arcades is controlled or it is safe? We have created vigilance on the different shops in arcades to make sure that when they are attending to customers themselves, they should be able to tell the customers, we're overcrowded. If one of you is not the real buyer, they should keep a safe distance from the shop so that we deal with the actual buyers. And also we are asking the customers, don't come with 3 friends to buy one item. Feel free to come alone. We'll give you a lot of advice. We will compare notes and make sure that you get the best of commodities that you want, than coming with 3 friends and we congest in the same place, buying one item. And I think this is what has caused a lot of congestion in these arcades. People come to shop and it's a whole family. It's a good experience, but now because we're in hard times, we're dealing with epidemics, not one. We're dealing with about 3 or 4 of them. We're dealing with malaria, it's on. We're dealing with HIV, is on. We're dealing with Ebola, is on. We're still dealing with COVID. So we are saying let's change the behavior on how we're doing business as customers and as traders.
Oh, definitely. And you spoke about some of the stakeholders and people that you're working with when it comes to taking this campaign forward. And you mentioned a clinic as well in there as one of the people that KACITA, organizations that KACITA is partnering with. But the question is, how are you working with any other health workers in terms of ensuring if there are people who are contact Ebola, one, that they can get the tested on time, and 2, that they can get adequate treatment on time?
Yes, thanks very much, Bruno. Yes, we are. And KCC has come on strong as a big partner. We're using all the KCC facilities as response areas. KCC, the meeting today is also to discuss which particular health centers we can deal with when there's this kind of emergency. So we will have definitely places where we do reports. We have police stations down in our trading places. We have on Awino, we have on Kafumbe Mukasa. We have all these response places in case there is anybody who shows advanced signs of Ebola. We are able to manage traceability of these people. But also the bit about KACITA is that we have registered members that we know. So we know them. We have their contact information. We know their next of kins, because when they register with KACITA, we know all this information. So traceability during this pandemic is going to be easy. If we have a contact person and then we need to trace them up to where they stay, we are able to facilitate that as KACITA. So these are some of the things that we've put into place. We have also response areas. We have Red Cross. Red Cross is our partner, and we want to thank the Red Cross Society of Kampala. It has been there with us and walked the journey and been part of our sensation campaign on Ebola. So the response areas are there that have been created, and I think we can ably handle some of these emergencies.
What has been, speaking of the word response, what has been the response by the traders towards this campaign?
The traders have been very happy about the campaign. One, they like the fact that we have been able to correct the information asymmetry. People now know that Ebola is a medical condition. It's not something you're going to a traditional healer or go to the church, because these are the beliefs our people have. So correction of information asymmetry, they've been able to be happy about that. That now they know what to do and when to do it. They are much more aware that they need to safeguard themselves from their customers. Because our earlier trade was, you come closer to your customer and try to persuade them to buy. Now we are saying, you can persuade them, but, keep a distance from them, because you don't know where they're from. But also we've encouraged the traders not also to carry a number of people to different businesses. Also we have traders who are families, and some of them, kids come from school and join them in the business. So we are saying, can we keep the children away? Can we keep these extra people away, so that the person who is supposed to do business with you is the person who is in the shop, is the person who is doing trade, and they are happy also that we've been able to bring on board the partners. Partners, they think, help on the response. They were happy to see KCCA come on board, and is not coming on board to say, why are you selling from here, why are you selling from there? They're not coming to police, but they are coming to be partners in trade. They were happy about that. The other thing that the traders are happy about is the fact that we're able to clean our places of work. Usually it is seen that it's a mandate for KCCA to clean these places. It is mandate for the leadership to organize on how these places get cleaned. But we provided brooms, gloves, brought the entire KACITA leadership, joined with the local traders. We had sections we had a very interesting group, the Wheelbarrow Pushers Association of Uganda. They were very, very, very instrumental in cleaning up. And they paused their business. They are small business owners, but they were able to put the wheelbarrows on halt and come and join the campaign. The young traders, these ones were very enthusiastic. The people I lead, they're young people, quite energetic. They're also very enthusiastic on trade. And they're the ones who are moving up and down, left and right, to interact with customers. They're the ones who are breaking the bulk. So they were very, very happy to be part of a cleaning campaign, but also to get the information firsthand, so they're able to protect themselves. And overall, people are happy with what KACITA is doing. The expansion takes information to other cities on how they can do early preparations for the outbreak.
Speaking of other cities, do you have traders from Mubende or Kasanda that are crying out for help? Are there, you spoke about how KACITA has evolved. They have representation in Mubende. Does KACITA have representation in Mubende and Kasanda as far as the districts and traders are concerned?
Yes, we have, our membership has grown tremendously, and we have a number of members from different districts. And this is where we get our information to expand to a certain area. It's the number of calls we receive from this particular area in terms of start the association there and help them, give them business support, and also try to build the attraction towards trade. So we have individuals who are members from those areas, and they are calling for this kind of support. They are really asking for this kind of mobilization for them. We also have local authorities who are calling us. They are saying, KACITA, you need to expand to Fort Porto, you need to expand to as far as Chitugum. We're receiving calls. We've also received a call from Karamoja saying, can we start a traders association in Karamoja, because they see a lot of trade, cross-border trade. We see a lot of calls from the board of Congo saying, can we create these associations? And we are coming, because it's our mandate. When we registered as KACITA Uganda, we changed our perspective to being a traders association that covers the whole country. So we're starting with the cities, we're coming to local governments, and we shall expand. So we'll reach all the members and create a formidable force towards trade and policy, and also better working environments.
Mr. Joshua, are there any challenges you faced as KACITA as you are taking this campaign to traders?
Yes, we have a number of challenges, and one of the biggest challenges is how do we take the information down as fast as possible. And the mass media areas that are there cost money. Most of our traders are still recovering from COVID-19, so we can't push a lot of media campaigns as of now. So it is an issue of how do we disseminate information to the depth that we need. We've been able to hand it down within the networks that we have, and also do on-site mass campaigns that we've done in our CSR. But we think that doing media campaigns would also add more value. We've not been able to do that as yet. Secondly, the different culture beliefs, religious beliefs. It's information we're trying to cut down and give them the right information. That this is a medical issue, but it's different informing somebody about the issue and then the practice when they go back home. So that could be a challenge. The other challenge that we have been facing is we don't have enough material to give out to people, because we would want to give each one of them hard material to read about Ebola, and also be able to put posters on each stall that show COVID information, so that in every corner you pass in Kampala, you should be able to see an Ebola signpost. I think an Ebola poster. I think that has not been possible. We don't have enough supply of that. The other thing that we've faced is the congestion. Of course, we need to break congestion in these places, but it's not an overnight thing that can be done. There are processes we're trying to put in place as fast as possible, but the challenge is it's not something you break the cycle immediately, because business is a continuous process. So we're vigilant about that, and we know that the responsiveness is very high, but it's not an immediate thing. So that is also a challenge. The other biggest challenge we are facing is about our customers themselves. The belief that shopping can be done by one person. The belief that shopping it's fun to do it a family. It's fun to go in Owino, and you are three brothers and a sister, and you're shopping. You are husband, wife, and the daughter shopping. It's very fantastic. But now, as we speak, it's not the practice. It's not what it should be, because we're trying to control an epidemic here. So those are some of the things. We can reach our traders ably. We cannot reach all the customers before they come to our business places. So we need more partners to help us do these campaigns. If we find somebody who says, we're paying all the sensitization adverts on Family TV, we would be happy. Family TV would be happy, but would have achieved a sensitization campaign. If we find people who say we're giving you tanks for washing hands at every entrance of business area, we would be very happy. That would help us work on. If we need to have real serious response training, because we are responding, we are creating sensitization, yes, with some of the people who have the information, like KCCA sends us doctors and medical personnel to help us. But I think even locally, some of the local leaders must be trained. So we call on the Ministry of Health to try and come down and say, can we have some of the leaders of different sectors in trade to train in Ebola response and also information asymmetry. We also think that KACITA needs partners who want to make sure that the traders are safe, to be able to overcome these challenges. Creating resilience is a band of a number of people, is a band of a number of associations and organizations. The traders are ready to respond, they're ready to learn, they're ready to comply. We need just to create a formidable force together with KCCA, together with the Ministry of Trade, together with the Ministry of Finance, together with the Kingdom of Uganda, any health workers. We have traders who are running pharmacies. That whole street that is full of pharmacies. We have people who know some of these things there, so we get out of them to give us this information and be part of the campaign. And this is how we're creating sustainability. But the challenge is we need to have response areas. We need to have more medical information. We need to be equipped with responses. For example, we need standby ambulances. It would be okay to have one at a police station or at KACITA offices in case of anything. These are some of the things that we don't have. So those are some of the challenges that we are facing.
On the issue of challenges, one of the biggest challenges we have in this country is the challenge of youth unemployment.
Correct.
Now, we have seen over the past couple of weeks, I remember watching an interview where someone from police was saying the reason why a lot of youth are getting involved in crime is because they have nothing to do. They don't have a way of finding a living because they're unemployed, and so they resort to crime. And you as KACITA, I have heard that you are presenting trade as a solution, but how does that work, especially for a person out there who is part of this category of the youth and does not have this 3 million or 1 million to start a business with?
Thank you very much for that. That specifically fits in my realm as the chairperson of KACITA Youth League. The Youth League was created to be an association or a formidable force for young people who are in business and trade in Uganda. And I so happen to be the chairperson of the Youth League. Trade has been one of the sectors, if I may call it, that has absorbed many youth. Those that have gone to school, those that haven't gone to school, those who have left work, and we've been able to employ more youth than any other sector. And that means that we're solving the employment problem. And it's important that any young person who is starting business in Uganda, or those that want to do business, they should join KACITA as an association, because many of the young people who are in KACITA, they came to Kampala with nothing, just a bag, polythene bags with their 2 clothes or 3, 1 trouser and 2 t-shirts. Most of them, their story is from grass to grace. And when they came into Kampala, most of them started with either carrying a lot of luggage or being mediators between businesses, and you see many of them in a Chikubo, they break the bulk. So they get from a shop that is a wholesale shop, and break it in smaller pieces, and they're able to sell these small packets, and eventually they help the shop move the bulk. And so most of the young people have started their businesses with zero capital. They were the capital themselves first. It's total sacrifice, and you have to step in. You must put the skin in the game. That's what we say. It's a philosophy we use downtown. But also, if you're able to get a small capital, you can start a business. Business doesn't have professionalism. You are interested in something, dive into it, understand it. Sometimes we say, just come, start, learn on job. If you want to if you know where you can get green pepper at a cheaper price from a farmer, and you know where you can supply it to a seller in Nakasero, you start with the mediation. You start being the middleman, and then you build capital, and eventually you'll be the one who buys from the farmer and sells. So you move away from the middleman, and then you can actually also move away from the buying and selling and concentrate on selling and move the bulk. And then we are saying that these young people can also move from selling and start to package, add value to the green paper, pack it properly in the right quantities, and identify it as from Ugandan gardens, and it's exported to other countries that want spices. India loves a lot of spices. Dubai loves a lot of spices. And so young people who want to start business, join KACITA Youth League. It's open. We are under our mother's office, KACITA Uganda, so that's why also you find our desk. You can join us, or somebody can call me directly or on 0782 239754. But what I want to put in perspective, that as we do this transition for the young people, we can't do it alone. Mother KACITA has given us the platform. We are pushing, reorganizing the young people. Most of them are in Chiembe. they import a lot of textile. And these are second-hand clothes. We know Chikubo, they are breaking the bulk. In Chikubo, they do a mix. They break bulk of imported commodities and also local commodities, because we have our local manufacturers who are using Chikubo to break the bulk. But we are calling on government and other partners, the development partners, that we need to do a systematic transition of the youth traders from only trading to creating formidable partnerships where they can make pools of monies, put them together, create a partnership, and go into manufacturing or be part of the intermediaries towards manufacturing. And also we are pushing, part of the campaigns we are pushing now is that, many young people, many traders carry money from Uganda, go to Turkey, buy suits and import them, go to Dubai, get electronics, bring them to Uganda, or go to another country. Whatever they get, they go with money, come back with commodities. We are saying that many of our traders have been to several countries, and they have a lot of market intelligence on those countries. And they know specific products from Uganda that can be sold to those countries. So we are asking government to use the market intelligence, the market knowledge of the traders in KACITA, and be able to create a formidable partnership with people like WUMA, because they are manufacturers. We are saying, like, can we create a frontier where we have a discussion that traders from KACITA, they can get commodities from the manufacturers, package them, take them abroad, sell them, get back their money, then buy whatever they want to buy, bring to the country. It's a win-win situation. It's where we are pushing export promotion. But this comes with information, it comes with engagement, it comes with financing some of the critical areas like transportation, cargo planes to be able, like, for example, we need economic spaces. China did that back in the days. It created what we call Chinatowns in the different countries. You would go to the US, find a Chinatown. You go to UK, find Chinatown. India has also tried to create that. You find Indian communities in different countries. Can we have a Ugandan community, economic business community in Congo? Because most of our goods go to Congo. Can we have government say, in Goma, we have a specific place where you're going to find Ugandan commodities? So KACITA manages the place, or in partnership with government, and then commodities of Uganda can go to those areas. We can have this in UK, we can have this in the US, we can have it in Dubai. So these are some of the things that we're pushing as young people. But the biggest force we're creating is being transformational traders. Transformational traders. People who think that, you can start from being a small trader, grow into the ranks and become a manufacturer. We've seen this from people like Movit, grow from small to big. We've seen it from Agase Kalala, grow from small to big. We've seen it from different number of people who are part of KACITA. So we want to create this as a sustainable change for traders. More so young traders. The early response we give to young traders, the more billionaires we create in the near future. And I think that also transforms the economy.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua, for joining us on Issues at Hand today and for taking us through those different issues. And thank you so much for joining us as well. We are always happy to dissect issues with you. Please follow the standard operating procedures and the guidelines as issued by the Ministry of Health and KACITA and other organizations. Protect yourself and your loved ones from the spread of Ebola. We want an Ebola-free country. And as always, we shall return tomorrow with more discussions. For now, we have to say bye, and it is time for you, especially it rained this morning, and I know some of you are still getting used to increasing in terms of body temperature. It's a bit cold, so it's time for us to take some coffee and get into a coffee break.